Welcome to the Prophets in Pajamas podcast. I'm Danielle DeTeach, or Coach Danni D, and I help women entrepreneurs and professionals to achieve their personal success stories that include joy, fulfillment, and balance. This is where we talk about how to build your business in a way that allows you to work with ease, be successful, and enjoy your life. My happy place is spending as much time in my PJs as humanly possible. And I want to help other women find their happy space while running profitable businesses or having a successful career. So get comfortable and let's dig in. Hello and welcome to the Prophets in Pajamas podcast. I am your host, Coach Danni D, always here helping you to redefine success beyond the grind. So, um, so today I want to talk to you about something kind of different. How do you bounce back from a bad day, right? We all have them for various different reasons. We, experience different things. That bad day could be, personal, it could be business related, it could be whatever, right? But a lot of times there's that struggle to, process a bad day and then kind of like, how do you, how do you bounce back or how do you navigate, that bad day, those emotions, those feelings, those, everything. And so, this, topic is hidden in a couple of different ways, but I guess the most primary way, yesterday was my cousin's birthday, and my cousin passed away in 2024, and it's still just very difficult to process, believe. Like, normally I would have a, you know, end of day call where, I call her and tell her happy birthday and tease her about being much, older than me. She's not really much older than me, um, being like super dramatic about how old she is. And that was just our little like thing. That was our ritual of conversation. And it was kind of hard yesterday. I just was in a emotionally kind of fragile space. And I honor that and I embrace that, right? Anybody who, has lost someone or is grieving is such an ongoing process. And it's, weird sometimes like how it hits you on certain days or at certain times. But, I don't want to get too in the weeds of that, but I'm just saying that was why my day was a little weird yesterday. And for me, I've taken different approaches to it. So yesterday I had several meetings and conversations with people that either were scheduled or just kind of popped up yesterday. And I went ahead and embraced them because, initially I was like when one of the meetings that was like planned was presented to me, I almost didn't take it because I knew what day it was. But I went ahead and took it and I went ahead and fellowshipped with others. And sometimes, even though we don't feel like it, that's like the best thing, right? And for me, yesterday it was. It was, the fact that I was kind of busy yesterday as far as, I had a couple of calls and met up with a friend. All of those things, like, kept me busy, kept me engaged, kept me from sitting in my thoughts, right? Sometimes you need to sit in your thoughts, and that's the answer. Sometimes you just need to be alone, and that's the answer. Like, I have learned over time, like the, anniversary of my mom passing, I typically take that day off because every time that I've not it's been a really bad experience. So not, not that, I don't know, it just, the world doesn't want me to work on that day, right? So I take that day off and I still, try to keep myself busy and occupied, but I don't commit to being around others. But that's not the only reason that you could have a bad day. You could have a bad day because something, went wrong. You could have a bad day because, you got a flat tire. You could have a bad day because you lost a client, right? There's a lot of reasons why you can have a bad day, but and this is more of a question than a like answer, but what do you do with that? And how do you process that? And are you allowing yourself to fully process the situation? Are you allowing yourself to feel how you feel as long as you need to, right? Because a lot of times what we do is we just try to move on. And sometimes in moving on without processing it, we are still carrying it, but we haven't released those feelings. And so they're still there. They're just being masked. And we haven't really fully processed them. Recently, I went to a journaling meetup, right? And so that's got me back into journaling more actively. And so, that's something actually that I'm going to do today because that's not the only thing that's going on with me, but that process of journaling and just getting stuff out and getting clarity sometimes, because sometimes we feel a way, right? Like, that's a common phrase, I feel a way, but we can't quite articulate what it is we feel or why we feel that way. So I think that in that regard, journaling is a very useful tool to to explore all of that, right? So that's one thing that I'm going to try. Sometimes it is a change of scenery that is going to help you, you know, move forward. Because again, sometimes it's that we're not processing the emotions. Sometimes we have overprocessed, right? Sometimes we're in a position where this situation is living rent free in our heads. And we have to let that go as well. Like we have to be able to start to, move forward and look at whatever that means. So sometimes maybe we need to just reflect on it one good time and figure out, what went right, what went wrong, or what we could do differently. And then get ourselves into a different space, a different thought, a different mood so that we can start to let that go, so that thing that's living rent free in your head can start packing its bags and moving on, because sometimes we are beating ourselves up about whatever that bad day thing was, right? So if it was a bad situation with a client, or if it was an argument that we had with a family member, or um maybe we had a car accident and it was our fault, but at some point we have to, give ourselves grace and understand the parameters of what happened, but we can't stay stuck there. So again, this is not like, me giving solutions today. It's me actually just asking a question so that you can start thinking about, like, how do I process when bad things happen? How do I, you know, make sure that I am honoring my feelings? How do I make sure that I am being conscious of when I need to hit a reset button? Am I reaching out to others? Am I sharing with others? Sometimes maybe I don't want to share. Maybe I want to be in a space of something different. Or sometimes I need to share and be in a space of something different, if that makes sense. Like sometimes, you know, something is going on with me, but I don't want to talk about that thing. I want to talk about anything else. And that's okay too. But just, completely ignoring that something happened or how you feel about it, it's just gonna stay with you, linger with you, fester with you. And now it's taking over those moments that you could experience some joy or some happiness. And also I, challenge you, or yeah, I'm gonna say challenge you to find spaces of happy, even in moments that you are sad, right? And that, again, that's not ignoring the emotion of sadness, but let sadness do what it needs to do. Let sadness run its course, but don't feel guilty for having moments of joy or glimmers of hope or light in moments of sadness, right? We're not meant to just be in a constant state of sadness. And there's nothing to feel guilty about having joy. So just food for thought. Just think about how, how do you process bad days? How do you make sure that you're not over processing bad days? And what is something that helps you to be respectful of it, but also reset, once you have you've let it run its course, like, have that reset, and understanding that even with that reset, some things are going to, linger in the sense that they may pop up here and there. But again, it doesn't mean that every moment has to be sad. You can have, I try to cram in as many joyful moments in between, right? Especially if we're talking about grief. Grief is weird. Grief, you could be perfectly fine and then all of a sudden you have a moment. And, you can't control that. And it's going to take you where it needs to take you. But try to have as many um happy, joyful moments in between those spurts, right? So I know that's a little weird and probably slightly off topic, but it's just where I'm at right now, and I'm being honest about that. But yeah, I just want you to reflect on it. How are you processing that? How are you coping? And if you're struggling with coping, I mean, that's a conversation as well. If you want to, you know, jump in the Facebook group and talk about, hey, I'm struggling with this, because somebody may have some advice, to help you based on what they may have gone through. Somebody may say, okay, hey, yes, you had this bad day with your client. This is what you can do to make it right with the client, and this is what you can do to make it right with yourself. Anyway, so that's what I want you to think about, is just do you have the support, the coping mechanisms for when things aren't, going great, when you're having a bad day. Sometimes it might be more than a bad day, but when things aren't going well, how are you processing that? So that's what I have for you guys. In the workflow universe, what's going on in the workflow universe? Okay, so I created upcoming events page, because I was having a hard time, y'all, when at the end of these episodes, trying to relay to y'all everything that's coming up. It was starting to get a little challenging. So I created an upcoming events page so you can always know where I am, how you can catch me live, or either in person or online, any events that I'm participating in or hosting. So that's available on that events page. What I have coming up, I'm gonna just give y'all September right now. And so what I have coming up in September, on September the 5th, I believe. Yeah, September 5th, I will be at the In Relentless Pursuit. I think it's a summit in Relentless Pursuit event. And I will be there as an attendee because it's an amazing event and I enjoyed it last year. I know it's going to be amazing again this year, but I also will be tabling. So there is a author's corner where they're going to have some authors there representing their books. So I will be there with my books. Also, the host of the event is Dr. Renika Briscoe. She was a past guest, so you can go back and listen to her episode. It was phenomenal. And this is her second anthology project that is going to be culminating in this summit. And I haven't read the second one yet. I read the first one, cover to cover, and it was amazing. So I know that the second one is going to be as well. But so I will be there tabling on September 5th. September 10th, I will be at The Well, which is a wellness event for women. It is for, it is a bunch of different resources for women. So a lot of organizations, businesses, and everything that are contributing to the success of women, right? So I will be there tabling at that event. September 11th through the 14th, I will be in Atlanta and with my other cohort. Why is that not coming out right? Co-host Sheila, Pauline, and Adrian, and we will be doing Inflate Your Income, the business behind balloons. So there's still a few seats available for that if you want to purchase tickets to that. We are going to be giving it to you. We are all very action oriented. We're results driven, and so we want to pour into the attendees and make sure that they are walking away with actionable steps to change the scope of their businesses. Now, I think that's it for September. Oh, no, 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 no. It's not. It's actually not. So then on September the, I'm trying to find a date because I don't want to misspeak. And this is why I made the page. So on September 18th, I will be in Baton Rouge with Lisa, who is my literary coach. She was responsible for all of these coming to pass. And she was one of the contributing authors in the Redefining Success Beyond the Grind. So if you go back and watch the launch party, you'll see Lisa there. And so Lisa is hosting what she calls Come Out and Play, which is an amazing event that with games and fun, and also we'll be tabling with our books there as well. So I will be there on September 18th in Baton Rouge. So all of my New Orleans girls and my Baton Rouge girls, come on out. Come out and support and have a good time. And you get to meet some authors and get signed copies, but you also get to just play and have a really good time. So I believe that is it for September. But guess what? Your homework assignment is to go look on that events page because you'll get to see all of the things that I have coming up, and I'm adding things constantly. So visit it often just so you can know where I'm going to be and what I'm going to be doing. Um, I if you're on my mailing list, you got an email this week talking about the business retreat VIP days. So if you haven't heard me talk about this before, I do retreats for each of my businesses. I definitely do them once a year. I try to do them quarterly. And it's so that I can look at my business from the upper level, right? So working on the business, not in the business. And I go through, look at what is, in place, the mission, the vision, everything. What are my goals? Do those goals still make sense? And just going through that whole process helps to plan for the future. So this time of year is the best time to do that so that when you enter, the first quarter of next year, you're not entering trying to figure things out. You already have a roadmap. And one of my clients that participated in it, when we had our discussion, she realized that she wanted to go in a totally different direction than her previous mission. And so that's why she had been stalled for a while. And that's why she was feeling stalled because her, where she wanted and needed to go didn't align with the mission and the goals that she had originally set out. And so that shift has like opened up the world for her. But when we don't sit down and have those conversations in a thoughtful way, you block everything out. So when I do these sessions, it's me and you for the day. If we're in person, we are, physically in person. I make sure you have breakfast and lunch, and we do that. If we are, if you're not here locally, we can do Zoom, or if you prefer in person, we can talk about travel and all of that. But point being, at the end of the day, you need those moments to sit down, really reflect, and really have a path because you can't go where you have not decided, right? You have to decide where you're going to make progress to get there. So, right now, I'm running an amazing special on that. And for the first five people who sign up, they will get $500 off of that service, as well as so you can do just the session or you can do the bundle, which is a session plus three quarterly follow-ups. So that's for the person that needs a little more accountability and check-ins to make sure throughout the year that they are still moving forward and progressing. So I'll have the link to that in the promo code in the show notes. And I think that's everything that's really pertinent going on. Keep your eyes peeled because I will be releasing the details for the 2027 Redefining Success Beyond the Grind Summit very soon. So I've been kind of, throwing little hints here and there and save the date and everything. The dates will be April April 16th and 17th. There will be a VIP event on the 15th. So save those dates on your calendar and be on the lookout soon for the opening of early bird pricing so that you can be in the room and get all of the fabulousness. If you follow me on social media, today I posted some of the testimonials of the previous attendees so you can understand what the transformation was because it was amazing. So that's all I got for you guys. I will see you next week. We have a great guest episode next week, so I'm excited about that. Have a great week. Thanks for listening to the Prophets in Pajamas podcast. I hope you got some great tips to start working with these. Want to stay connected? Follow me at Your Workflow on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. For more information about creating balance in your life, register for my upcoming calendar detox challenge at CoachDanniD.com. Don't forget to subscribe, join the community, and book a call to find the workflow program that best fits your needs.